today's Discovery Challenge. Can you find these 3 hidden details before the painting is finished? A tiny wristwatch hidden among the flowers, a sleeping black cat on the fairy's lap, and a pearl necklace woven into the bouquet. If you like this artwork as wallpaper or the coloring plate, you can download both from my coffee. And can one overflowing bouquet become an entire fantasy world? What kind of stories would bloom if flowers became the center of a magical room? And if you looked closely enough, what tiny treasures would you discover hiding inside? When I started this piece, I already knew the bouquet had to be the star. The very first thing you notice is this huge arrangement of peonies and tulips right in the middle. I really wanted the flowers to feel lush, full, and overflowing with life. So instead of painting large flat petals, I kept returning to every flower again and again, layering more colors onto the edges, and every pass created another fold, another curl, another tiny shadow. One little trick I love using is breaking up every large color area. Instead of leaving one big pink shape, I divided it into dozens of smaller color transitions. And that instantly makes the petals feel much richer and fuller. My favorite flowers are actually near the bottom. One has this beautiful reddish purple mixed with hints of green and almost like it's only halfway through blooming. Right beside it is another purple blossom with soft green highlights. Those tiny touches of green make the flowers feel alive instead of perfectly polished. By the time the bouquet was finished, I suddenly realized something. There really wasn't much empty space left anymore. And honestly, that became one of the biggest challenges of this illustration. Because the bouquet already filled most of the canvas, I had to think differently about the background. Originally, I planned to paint a large clock behind everything, but while looking at those pink color blocks, I changed my mind. Instead, I transformed them into a colorful stained glass window by dividing the large shapes into smaller geometric pieces. The clock idea never completely disappeared though. I simply moved it. Instead of hanging on the wall, it became a tiny wristwatch hidden among the flowers in the foreground. If you look closely later, and you'll only see part of it. Even the Roman numeral 12 is only partially visible. I love hiding objects like that because they reward people who enjoy exploring every corner of the painting. Then I look towards the darker upper left corner. It felt a little empty, so I imagined this entire bouquet living inside a magical room. What would a magical room need? Light, and that's when I added a hanging lamp, creating a warm glow that balances the stained glass on the opposite side. Those 2 areas now quietly guide your eyes across the composition. Next came my favorite part, the characters. I painted 2 tiny fairies floating behind the bouquet. Both have long hair, flowing purple robes, and little witch-like hats, but each tells a different story. The fairy on the right was a tiny black cat, sleeping peacefully across the lap. Her robe is covered with little birds, but those birds don't stay trapped on the fabric. Some of them actually fly out into the real world of the painting. One even carries a tiny sealed letter. The fairy on the left wears fish swimming across her robe. And just like the birds, the fish escape too. They swim beyond the clothes, making fantasy and reality blend together. I wanted both fairies to hold glowing lanterns, not ordinary ones, something magical. Something that feels like hope, and that's why the birds and fish seem naturally drawn towards the light. Almost like every living thing wants to gather around warmth. Because the bouquet already contained 18 flowers, I wanted to introduce completely different textures. Flowers are soft, so I added objects that felt smooth, shiny, and structured. The pearl necklace creates elegant curves weaving through the petals. The hidden wristwatch introduced polished metal. The transparent fairy wings became another opportunity to play with texture. Instead of making them simply clear, I'd imagined crystal catching sunlight. So I layered many different colors before outlining the veins with the paintbrush. I wanted them to sparkle with tiny rainbow reflections. Even the flower vase stayed intentionally simple. There wasn't much space left, so instead of adding lots of decorations, I painted 2 little rabbits on it. They're easy to miss, but once you notice them, you can't unsee them. That's something I love about Maximalist illustrations. Every time you come back, you discover something new. Finished, did you find all 3 hidden details? The tiny wristwatch, the sleeping black cat, and the pearl necklace. Let me know in the comments how many you spotted before I revealed them. And if you'd like to explore this artwork even longer, you can download the full 16:9 wallpaper and the printable coloring page from my Ko-fi. You can also see more of my illustration collections on Behance. And thank you so much for painting with me today. See you in the next Discovery Challenge. Happy creating!